Good morning, students. This is Aqsa Fatima from ISL Engineering College. So today we are here to discuss the problems on your second unit, that is your control rectifiers. So in control rectifiers, what we are seeing is we are dealing with different types of single phase and three phase rectifiers. Single phase rectifiers are half wave rectifiers. If you see here, what are we dealing with, we will also see that once, just an overview, so that you will have an idea what all we have to consider. So half wave rectifier, half wave control rectifier with resistive load, wherein with resistive load what we are doing is you are connecting a single phase transformer, that is the single phase AC supply to your thyristor, as you are connecting it in the only one thyristor is being used when you are connecting it for half wave with R load. So when considering for R load with resistive load, what you will do is you will consider only one thyristor. Whenever there is for positive half cycle, this thyristor will be conducting, and for negative half cycle it will get reverse biased and this thyristor won't be conducting. So see here, during the positive half cycle, the supply voltage, the thyristor anode and positive with respect to the cathode, until the thyristor is triggered for proper gate pulse and blocks the flow of the load current in the forward direction. If you see this waveforms, you will understand that supply voltage is this, and for the positive half cycle, when the pulse is given, firing pulse is given after the angle alpha, so it is conducting after angle alpha, and the load voltage, that is your voltage is appearing across the load after 30 degrees or whatever the angle they are considering. So average load current and average load voltage is to be calculated. Average load voltage is calculated by considering full half cycle, that is 1 by 2 pi from alpha to pi Em sin omega t. We are considering from alpha to pi because it is only conducting for positive half cycle. For negative half cycle, it won't be conducting. So that's the reason we are only conducting it for positive half cycle. Okay, so here from alpha to pi, from alpha to pi it will be considered. So your output average load voltage will be 1 by 2 pi alpha to pi Em sin omega t d omega t. So here after solving this, your value will be value of the voltage will be this Em by 2 pi 1 by cos alpha. So this formula is important. Em by 2 pi into 1 by cos alpha, it will be considered for single phase half wave rectifier with R load, and EDC max will be equal to when alpha is 0. So this cos alpha will be 0, 1 plus cos alpha, alpha for cos alpha, that means cos 0 is equals to 1. So this 2 and this 2 would be getting cancelled, and Em by pi will be your maximum output voltage obtained. Okay, then load current. Load current is again by R. Resistive load, since it is resistive load, divided by resistance will give you your load current, and RMS load voltage will be your root mean square of your voltage. So 1 by 2 pi alpha to pi Em sin omega t square. If you solve that, you will get the value of RMS voltage, that will be RMS or ERMS is equals to pi minus alpha by 4 pi into sin 2 alpha by 8 pi whole to the power of 1 by 2. For firing angle, alpha is equals to 0, here ERMS will be Em by 2. Okay, with inductive load, now with inductive load you will consider both R and L. So when both R and L are considered, you will get a load current, you will get some peak spike in the negative voltage because of the load current, because of the current being present in the inductor getting discharged. Okay, so here also the average load voltage will be considered for alpha to pi plus alpha, because after pi plus alpha also this voltage is being conducting. So that's the reason it is pi plus alpha. So if you solve that, your EDC will be Em by pi into cos alpha. Okay, so effect of freewheeling diode. Now you consider a freewheeling diode. This question is also asked in your question papers frequently, that what is the effect of freewheeling diode in the circuit. So the diode serves two main functions, that it prevents reversal of load voltage except for small diode voltage drop, and it transfers load current away from the main rectifier. hereby allowing its thyristor to regain their clocking state. Okay. So there are two main purposes of using a freewheeling diode in the circuit. That it's reversal, preventing the reversal of load voltage, and also transfer of the load current in the main rectifier circuit is allowing the thyristor to regain the blocking state. That's the reason we use freewheeling diode. Okay. Next we have half-wave rectifier with freewheeling diode. So when using freewheeling diode, your rectifier, your position of the freewheeling diode and their load, so it should be present here before the load. So when using freewheeling diode, if you see without freewheeling diode, the voltage was occurring here. When you use freewheeling diode, this voltage will not go in the negative half cycle, it will be only in the positive half cycle. That is the main advantage of freewheeling diode being used. Now we see some few problems when considering your load, your half-wave control rectifier with purely resistive load. Here the question is given that it is a pure resistive load, and so now here in this problem we have to find with a purely resistive load, you have to find out the angle and with a delay angle of alpha you have to find rectification efficiency, form factor, ripple factor, transformer utilization factor, and peak inverse voltage. So the rectification factor, the formula for efficiency is this. Efficiency is equals to PDC by PA. Obviously, efficiency is output power by input power. So your PDC is the DC power, that is EDC square by R, and PAC is the RMS load power, that is by E square RMS by R. From equation, EDC is, first you have to find out EDC. EDC, how will you find out for the purely resistive load? From the formula EM by 2 pi into 1 plus cos alpha. So from this formula EM by 2 pi into 1 plus cos alpha, your rectification efficiency will be calculated. Rectification efficiency will be calculated, your EDC will be calculated from EM by 2 pi into 1 plus cos alpha, where alpha is equals to pi by 3, and your efficiency is calculated as this. Since we don't know the value of EM, we are just keeping it as EM. Okay. Now ERMS, how will you find out? EM into this. So EM into pi minus alpha by 4 pi plus cos alpha sin alpha by 2 alpha by 2 alpha by 8 pi into 1 by power 1 by 2. So after calculating that, alpha is equals to pi by 3, ERMS is equals to 0.485 into EM, and rectification efficiency 0.239 EM whole square by EDC into EM. See, EDC by ERMS you have to do. So EDC into EM, we are dividing both, your efficiency will be obtained. Okay, this square and square will get cancelled, EM and EM will get cancelled. Now you will be left by 0.239 by 0.485. So once you calculate these two, you will get the efficiency of this. Now form factor is ERMS by EDC. So it will be, if you calculate it from that, it will be 2.003, and your ripple factor will be 1.77. Form factor minus 1 whole to the power of 1 by form factor square minus 1 by 1 by power 1 by 2. Okay. Now the transformer utilization factor will be source voltage into current, source current power by source voltage into source current. So your ES and IS is your secondary voltages. So ES can be calculated as EM by root 2 and IS can be calculated by ERMS by R. So if you divide both of them, you will get it as 16 point. Substitute these values, ES value and IRMS value and ES value. If you substitute both of them, you will get the value of this. Okay. There is another question giving an SCR is used to control the power of 1 kilowatts, 230 volts, 50 hertz heater. Determine the heater power for firing angle of 45 degrees and 90 degrees. So your second question is dealing with SCR is used to control a power of 1 kilowatts, 230 volts, 50 hertz heater. So this heater determine the heater power for firing angle 45 degrees and 90 degrees. So here you are considering the heater as heater power as resistance. The resistance of the heater will be R, and your power is given as 1 kilowatt. Now for finding out the RMS current for heat producing the component of the load, we need to consider the load current. So we have to first find out the RMS voltage of that. So same formula, using the same formula you will find out the RMS voltage, and you will find out the power of the heater. So at 45 degrees, that is pi by 4, you will consider first. RMS voltage will be calculated as 115 volts. Therefore heater power is ERMS square by R. Power is given as 1 kilowatt, so R will be given as 52.90. Then yes, so 115 by 115 square by 52.90 is equals to here this 454.15 watts. So here our power for 1 kilowatts of supply is 454.15 watts, and similarly for alpha is equals to pi by 2, you are considering ERMS is equals to 115 volts, and 115 by 52.90 is 250 volts. So for this you are getting the value as this. Okay, now you have another question where you are being asked to single phase half controlled converter is operated for 150 volts 50 hertz supply, and resistance is this much, and the average output voltage is 25%. This question was given in your internal exam, if you remember, your first internal. You have to find out the firing angle, your RMS average current, and RMS and average SCR currents. Okay, we have EDC. Average EDC will be EM by 2 pi into 1 plus cos alpha. Maximum output will be obtained when alpha is equals to 0, and your maximum output voltage is obtained by EM by pi, and your EDC is 25% of EM by pi, so to 0.25 of EM by pi will be your maximum output voltage, which will be equal to 0.25 EM by pi is equals to EM by 2 pi into 1 plus cos alpha. So alpha is equals to pi by 3. From this you will find out the current through this. EDC by R will be your current. R is 10 ohms. Substituting the value, you will get the value of average output current. So RMS voltage will be calculated similarly from that only, and your RMS current will be IERMS by R. Okay, let's see few question papers of your previous question papers, what it has been asking you. So here are the few previous question papers. So here yes, if you see here from second unit it haven't asked you any question. So far it is asking you for the operation of rectifier with freewheeling diode. That means it will be an RL load with freewheeling diode. The same question, if you see here, this question will be so you have to describe this with operation effect of freewheeling diode, operation with so RL load, the load current and the load voltages. You have to explain it with this. This will be there. This waveforms you have to explain. Okay, this waveforms, and you have to find out the EDC and yes, this is the R load, right? So EDC and ERMS you have to find out. Okay, EDC you have to find out with RL load. So this is the operation with RL load as asked in this question paper, if you see. Okay, this question, with the neat waveforms and circuit diagram, explain the operation of half-wave control rectifier with freewheeling diode. So that's the question. Okay, now next if we see yes, draw the waveforms and write the output voltage and RMS voltage of single phase half-wave rectifier with RL. So So when this is asked, you have to draw it without freewheeling diode. When the other one is asked, you have to do it with freewheeling diode. Okay, here see, single phase fully controlled thyristor bridge converter as a rectifier, line commutated inverter with relevant waveforms. So single phase full wave thyristor bridge converter you have to explain. Okay, and yes, here 3-phase fully controlled bridge rectifier supplied with 230 volts per phase and frequency of 50 Hz. The source inductance Ls is equals to 5 millihenry and the load current on the DC side is 12 amps. The load consists of DC source voltage as 230 volts and having an internal resistance of 2 ohms. Find firing angle alpha and overlap angle. This is given for 10 marks. If you see this question also we will solve. For the dealing with 3-phase rectifiers, we will solve that question. Okay. Similar questions are there. I will forward you this. You can see into it. Okay. Now single phase fully controlled rectifier. Single phase fully controlled rectifier. There are two types of connections: midpoint connection and bridge converter connection. So usually you go for bridge converter connection, and this connection, bridge converter connection, is commonly used in the circuit diagram. So with resistive load it's given. So here what happens is one thyristor will be conducting during one positive half cycle and the other thyristor will be conducting during negative half cycle. So you will obtain the voltage in positive cycle at the output. The firing angle will be given after some angle alpha. So here EDC will be EDC is equals to EM by pi into 1 plus cos alpha. Okay, so there it was given as EM by 2 pi. Now here it is 1 EM by pi. So you will consider it for 1 by pi because every half cycle the waveform is repeating itself. So you will only consider it for you will consider it for 1 by pi. Alpha by pi EM square sin square omega t d omega t. When you further solve it, you will get the value of RMS voltage as this. RMS is equals to, this is the main formula. Okay. Now with inductive load, when you consider, yes, when you are considering for inductive load, the circuit diagram will be having both resistive and inductive elements in it, and your thyristor T1 can be fired at the on state and E1 goes positive and turned on, and thyristor T2 becomes when it is reverse voltage across thyristor T1. Now for obtaining the output voltage here, 1 by pi from alpha to pi plus alpha, EM sin omega t d omega t is considered. So when you solve this, you will get the value of EDC as 2 EM by pi into cos alpha. This will be for your single phase full wave rectifier with RL load. Okay, so here are the waveforms for that. With RL load, you will have the voltage in the negative half cycle also, and the load current will be constant, and your thyristor voltage will be appearing across thyristor where the peak inverse voltage is 2 EM. Okay, some of the conclusions what we have seen is that the highest value of this voltage will be when the firing angle is 0, that is alpha is equals to 0 degrees, and the voltage is 0 at when alpha is equals to 90 degrees, meaning that the load voltage will contain equal positive and negative areas giving 0 output voltage. Okay, now the effect of freewheeling diode, again here also the effect of freewheeling diode will be that the voltage will not appear across the negative half cycle. See, if you see the voltage, the supply voltage is this, the load voltage is this, so the firing angle here is alpha is equals to 150 degrees. So the voltage will be appearing across in such a way that 150 degrees, the load voltage will be this much, and will go into the negative half cycle again. Now the freewheeling diode is connected, and after the freewheeling diode, the voltage will be appearing across see here. Now with the freewheeling diode, the voltage is appearing. This shaded region is your load voltage. This dotted region is your supply voltage. So your shaded region shows that the voltage is appearing across the load with the without any negative without any voltage in the negative half cycle. Now here is the bridge connection. Bridge connection is commonly used in the rectifier and inverter circuits where you are using 4 thyristors instead of 2 thyristors. So each one thyristor will be conducting in particular duration. In positive half cycle, 2 thyristors will be conducting. In the negative half cycle, next 2 thyristors will be conducting. So T1 and T2 will be conducting during the positive half cycle, and T3 and T4 will be conducting during the negative half cycle. Okay, till the current goes 0 or falls to 0, T1 and T2 will be conducting. Then the next negative half cycle, the T3 and T4 will be turned on and will be turned on off by natural commutation. Same load voltage will be there, load current will be there, the conduction will be different here. With RL load is just being shown. So here with RL load, again if you see that the negative half cycle is having the voltage. Yes, the main thing what we have to see is our problems when considering. So highly, now here it is given that a highly inductive DC load requires 12 amps at 150 volts from 230 volt single phase AC supply. Give design details of M2 connection and B2 connection for alpha is equals to 30 degrees. What it is telling you that your load is having 12 volts of supply and 12 volts of current and 12 amperes of current and 150 volts of supply. It is requiring that, and your supply is your 230 volts. So what do you need as a requirement? It is asking you. Okay. Now you also have to assume that your voltage drop is 1.5 volts, and you have to compare both. Now for M2 connection, your EDC will be 2 Em by pi into cos alpha, and you can write it as 2 Em by pi into cos alpha is cos alpha minus 1.5, because the voltage drop across the thyristor is 1.5 volts. So once you calculate this cos 30, substituting the value of alpha as 30 degrees and calculated pi by 2 cos 30 into 150 plus 1.5 will give you 274.8 volts. That is your EDC. Okay. Now from this you have to find out the ERMS. So how will you calculate ERMS? ERMS is equal to 274.8 by root 2 is equals to 194.31. If you calculate from this, and your IRMS is 12 by root 2, that is 8.49. Then transformer secondary, from that you can calculate the value of 2 into ERMS into your current. You will find out the value of transformer secondary rating and transformer ratio as 230 by 194. You will get the value of transformer voltage ratio, and current will be 12 into 194.31 by your main voltage, that is 230 volts. You will get the value of current also. Okay, now peak inverse voltage of ECR will be 2 Em, that is approximately equal to 550 volts, and IRMS is 12 by root 2, that is 8.5 amps. Now referring to B2 connection, where you have 4 thyristors, what will be the configuration? 2 Em by pi into cos alpha. Therefore Em will be equal to again 277.5 volts. Okay. Now transformer secondary will be this 196.24 volts, and because you don't have this output voltage, now you are considering it for 12 amps, and you are considering the waveform as square waves. The current level is 12 amps RMS. The secondary rating will be 196, that is secondary RMS voltage into RMS current. So your rating will be 2.35 kilovolt amperes, and your transformer voltage ratio will be 230 by 196.24. Okay, for each SCR your peak inverse voltage is Em here, so IRMS into root 2 will be your current. EM will be 277.52. Now the SCR loss in first one will be 1.5 by 150, that is 1% of the load, and SCR loss in B, that is bridge connection, will be 3 by 150, that is 2% of the load current. Okay, so this is your comparison between M2 connection and bridge connection, midpoint connection and bridge connection. Okay, now there are also similar problems. You see here, there are also some more problems being asked. Yes. This calculate the load current of fully controlled rectifier with RLE load. Supply voltage is given, load current is given, and back EMF is given. So now here what you have to do is you have to subtract this voltage from. Now you see here, we will have it. Single phase fully voltage rectifier consisting of R, L, VC, the inductance L. So you are given with your resistance, inductance at VC. You have to find out the firing angle, power, and load voltages. So average voltage you have to find out. So RLE is there. So R is equals to, here the values are not given, but here in this question the values of R, L, and E are given to you. R is equals to 10 ohms, alpha is equals to 30 degrees, and E is equals to 150 degrees, and L is not given. So you have to calculate the load current here. So for finding out the load current, what will you do? See from here, load voltage, load current, so your fundamental value of the load, so your load current will be calculated from the formula used here. Yes, so your load voltage is obtained by this, and your load current will be obtained by dividing it by R, L, and E value. Okay, now moving on further, we have half control rectifier. ID is equals to ADC R plus E. Here, single phase half control bridge rectifier. Half control bridge rectifier are also called as semi-converters. Semi-converters are the one which are used for one pair of SCRs are being replaced by diodes here. So the two different versions of half control bridge circuits, that is, one is having the resistive load. Now for a resistive load, if you see here, these thyristors are replaced by two diodes here. Okay, thyristors are being replaced by two diodes in symmetrical configuration and asymmetrical configuration. In symmetrical configuration, the diode are placed in the both legs at the bottom side, and in asymmetrical configuration the diodes are placed in the second leg. Okay, so here the SCR configuration is in such a way that the SCR is forward biased at an instant of firing angle is turned on. In asymmetrical configuration, separate triggering circuit are to be used. Okay, now with an resistive load for symmetrical configuration, the supply voltage is given. For the negative positive half cycle, the supply voltage is given to the thyristor T1 and D1 is conducting here. Thyristor T1 and D1 is conducting, and thyristor T2 and D2 are conducting in the negative half cycle. So what is happening is symmetrical configuration. During the positive half cycle, T1 and D1 are forward biased and are in forward blocking mode. And thyristor T1 is triggered at firing angle alpha. The current flows through the path L, T1, R and D1 and N. And the load current will flow until it is commutated by reversal of supply voltage as omega t is equals to pi. Now during negative half cycle, the supply voltage is given to the thyristor T2 and the diode D2 is forward biased. And SCR T2 is triggered at an angle pi plus alpha. The current would be flowing through N T2A R. Here if you see, first it was flowing through L T R D1 back to the supply. Now for the negative half cycle, N T2 A R B not B, back to D2 out through L. So that will be for negative half cycle if you see. Okay, B D2 L here, T2 A R B D2 L. This current is continuous till angle 2 pi. The SCR T2 is turned off at 2 pi. Okay, so the voltage average voltage will be, since it is symmetrical, it will be from alpha to pi Em sin omega t d omega t. So Em by pi into 1 plus cos alpha will be the load voltage, and your load current will be Em by pi into R into 1 plus cos alpha. And your RMS voltage will be calculated by considering Em square by pi or Em by pi root pi into alpha by pi sin square omega t d omega t. Considering that, you will find out the value of your RMS load voltage. For half control bridge rectifier, RL load will be again given. For RL load, you will have low inductor connected in your circuit. So in comparison, the two pulse circuit with that of the fully controlled, you will get the value of voltages as like this in with RL load, symmetrical configuration. Okay, and your operation of RL load will be in two types, that is continuous mode and discontinuous mode. In continuous mode, your supply voltage, your load voltage will be, your load current will be continuous during the freewheeling diode interval, and the load current decreases from Imax to Imin. Maximum to minimum it will be varying, but it will be not reaching to zero. This type of configuration is usually preferred in motor control application. And the discontinuous mode, it will be like freewheeling diode. The discontinuous mode, load current will reach to zero and freewheeling interval even before the next thyristor is turned on. The load current ripple content increases and the conduction angle of the device decreases. This mode is not suitable for applications like DC motors. This question also I have given you in say our second internal. If you see, the single phase semiconductor is operated first in 120 volts 50 hertz AC supply, and its resistance is 10 volts, an average of 25%. You have to find out. Okay, you can calculate this. We have done that problem already, so revision I'm not going to tell you. Here, another question is like, draw the current waveform of each device, assuming load to be highly inductive, and obtain the expression for the average load voltage. For an AC source voltage is 230 volts 50 hertz and firing angle of 5/4, that is 45 degree. And your current is delivered to a battery, which is R is equals to 10 ohms, L is equals to 10 millihenry, and AC is equals to 120 volts. So considering this, you will have your 230 volts 50 hertz and your load is your R, L and AC. Now you have to find out the currents for each device, assuming it highly inductive. So you have to find out the load voltage and current of all the devices, and load voltage waveforms to be calculated. Okay, ADC is equals to 1/2 pi alpha to pi em sin omega t d omega t, and pi to 2 pi em sin omega t d omega t, for two different half cycles. Okay, since this is supply voltage, now the supply voltage will be conducting like this, because it is a diode, it will be conducting for whole cycle here during the period pi to 2 pi. Here you will see there is only one thyristor and there are 3 diodes. So the thyristor T1 is only conducting during T1 and D1 is conducting, when T1 and D1 are conducting. During D2 and D3 are conducting, again they are like full conduction. Okay, so how will you calculate it? Pi minus alpha 2 pi minus cos alpha. So your voltage will be 2 pi minus alpha will give you to em by pi into 1 plus cos alpha. So it will be 3 plus cos alpha em by pi. This will be your output voltage. Now substituting the value and calculating, em is equals to 2 into 230 by 2 pi into 3 plus cos 45 degrees. So you will get the value of voltage. You can find out the current by dividing it by R. So your power delivered by the battery is EC into IDC. That is 120 into 7.47. That is 896.40 watts. Okay, you are considering this voltage 120 volts of the battery. So this is for semi-converter problems. There is another problem where you have to use fully controlled bridge converter where you are using. Okay, and you are finding out the parameters by considering 5/6 radians. So you just have to consider cos as 5/6, that means 30 degrees, and find out the values. That's it for now. Today we have discussed the question paper problems of our. So we have discussed the question paper problems of our single phase and single phase rectifiers, both fully controlled and half wave rectifiers, half controlled, full controlled, and semi converter, and half wave controlled rectifier. Okay, thank you very much. Hope you guys understood it.